It's Gorman in the Morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the Morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Good Thursday morning. I'm here with Fletcher.
Oh, you are? Hi, I'm here.
Ryder.
All right. Enough fun and games.
Oh, sports.
Man. And with that, we're off. I'm feeling Minnesota. I'm going to pretend to be in a great mood, Paul Fletcher. What's going on in the world?
Well, it's 2025, but Blockbuster is back in Minnesota. Sort of, kind of.
Okay.
The Metro is home to a dozen locations of free Blockbuster, not actually affiliated with the actual Blockbuster, which is now pretty much defunct. But it's a take a movie, leave a movie box situation, sort of like a small free library, that type of a deal.
Okay.
There are locations in Plymouth, Shoreview, Burnsville, etc. Like I said, 12 total. No clue how well stocked they are, but the concept is cool. Of course, Be Kind, Rewind.
DVD or VHS or both?
Both?
It's both. There's one that's been in my neighborhood for like since the pandemic.
Okay.
So
Really?
Yeah, and it's just it's on Minnehaha, and it's just whatever people feel like putting in there. And there's a ton of those little free libraries in my neighborhood.
See those?
too.
Yep.
So yeah, I put a lot of things in there, but I don't take a lot of things out. I did take I believe a DVD copy of Army of Darkness that is now part of my permanent collection.
Okay.
So there we go.
Oh,
Fair
will there
enough.
be late fees for that?
Nobody was happier when
there's
streaming came along than me. I just love getting rid of equipment. DVD
that's
player,
fair.
VHS player, just unplug it, forget how it ever worked in the first place, hit a couple buttons on a remote, just cool. Thank you.
But be on the lookout for some of those VHSs are now going for like a lot of money because they're collectors. I have a Donnie Darko that's worth like $60.
Are you serious?
I'm
$60?
serious.
Can I borrow it?
Yes. No, you cannot.
No? Damn.
No.
All right.
Freeblockbuster.org if you want to find out.
Thank
if you're
you.
new to this, unlike Ryder, she's apparently known about this thing for decades. Elon Musk has announced his departure from his position as a top advisor to the White House, citing challenges and frustrations with government bureaucracy. In the government. During his time in the role, Musk faced difficulties implementing his Silicon Valley approach to government efficiency, leading to clashes with officials and a revised goal of reducing federal spending. He'll shift his focus back to running his businesses, Tesla, SpaceX, etc.
It's hard to succeed in reworking government when you don't know or care how government works.
Correct.
Go away and stay away.
Despite some support from President Trump, his unconventional relationship with the government ultimately led to his decision to step down.
We should run government like a business because it's not a business.
Right.
The dumbest thing anyone's ever said.
Yep.
Sorry, I have a real bone to pick.
Listen, as somebody who hates doing paperwork, I very much feel his pain. I grew up
Right.
the kid of a couple of civil servants. It's
Right.
not easy to get things done.
It's also not for profit, and he
Yeah.
can't understand that.
Yeah.
It's a service.
Right, but it's not easy to get things done. Yeah, you should have known that going in. Like, it's unbelievable. It's just
You might think he had ulterior motives. Next.
sort of sounds like take his ball and go home kind of a deal. The man that portrayed a doll that still gives people nightmares has died. OG Chucky actor Ed Gale is dead at the age of 61. Now get this. This is the saddest part of it.
Okay.
61.
Right?
Passed away in hospice.
Oh.
That's way too young to be passing away in hospice. Like 61? Like,
Well,
that's
if he had,
crazy.
well, I mean,
if
if he
you
was
have-
ill.
Yeah.
A lot of people go to hospice. You don't have to be old.
I suppose. I associate it with that, and it just feels like
Oh,
a
it's-
sad
that's-
ending. I don't know, but...
Endings are sad.
Gale played the iconic killer doll Chucky in 1988's Child's Play, as well as two other films in the franchise. He also popped up in Howard the Duck, Spaceballs, and Baywatch, which I wasn't aware of.
Fair enough.
I got to watch that Baywatch episode.
Yeah, no kidding.
McDonald's is making a huge change to its restaurants. They're now going to stay open until midnight or later starting this summer. Most of the signature menu items will be available during their late night hours. Restaurants and non-traditional locations like airports, malls are going to be the exception, but they'll be back open for, normal breakfast hours. But how about McDonald's? Like, where have you been, McDonald's? When we're out?
I went to a McDonald's at midnight once, and I ended
How'd that go?
Ended the night with a rifle pointed in my face. That's
Oh,
a story for
yeah.
maybe later today.
Yes, maybe.
Holy
We're not on
smokes.
the
That was fun.
serious? Wow.
Very serious. And I was in Belfast, just to make it even more crazy.
Wow.
All right, let's get to it.
Holy
Sports.
smokes.
A minute into the game last night, Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals, my wife walked into the room and said, "Hey, we're ahead." And the T-Wolves were up 3-0. And the next time she walked into the room, we were down 12-3. And I started making plans for bed.
That's when I saw the score was 12-3, and I moved on with my life.
124-94. There's no nice thing to say about it. They were beaten by a much better team, but they also didn't show up. They just phoned it in. The body language was there from the jump. A few missed shots in. At one point, the team was 1 for 6, and you saw the shoulders slumping, and they knew it was over. That's the last time we'll see this Timberwolves team. I guarantee you Tim Connolly will make major changes to this roster in the offseason.
Wow.
They built this team to beat the Nuggets, and it worked a year ago. They now have to figure out, well, how do we beat the Thunder? Because that's the team of the future.
Right.
Kevin Durant's out there. He's available. Just saying. You need someone who doesn't want the ball in their hands all the time, but will still put 30 in at the drop of a hat. He's a walking bucket. Hell, he's a mercenary. Go get him.
Wow.
It's going to be a rough offseason. I do believe there's going to be a lot of changes, as well there should be, because we've got a young superstar who's ascending, and we have to find the right people around him, whatever it takes. Rob Dillingham, the point guard of the future, I look forward to seeing him next year. All this to say, I didn't go to sleep. I stayed up and kept watching just because I was so angry.
You did.
You hate watching.
I couldn't go to sleep. I just couldn't go to sleep. But listen, Anthony Edwards is very coachable, and he does work. He all he wants to do is work out and be better at basketball, so he's going to be fine.
But did he show up last night?
No. He's 23 years old, and the weight of the world was on his shoulders, and he didn't have a great game.
You've said 25 multiple times. I mean, I'd like to see more, but
Shai Gilgeous is 26. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The history of the league says that patience will be rewarded. There's no reason to be like, come on, Ant. He's 23.
It does feel like in this final, though, after the run last year, you'd think that they would be more prepared this year. But it feels like that one game that they won last Saturday was all like that. That was like the victory for them.
Well, there's a lot to unpack there. We have a whole summer to do it. Terry Bradshaw was on the radio with the Buzz, a station in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay.
Steeler legend Terry Bradshaw was asked about the fact that Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers are being linked. The rumor mill suggests he will be in the Steelers this year. Terry Bradshaw, clearly a fan of Aaron Rodgers.
That's a joke. That is just, to me, is a joke. What are you going to bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? That guy needs to stay in California and go somewhere and chew on bark and whisper to the guys out there. I had to go over and introduce myself to him. He's nuts. I had to go, hey, Aaron, I'm Terry Bradshaw. I know he knows me, but I just felt like I better tell him who I am. You walk in there and you get in his presence and you feel like it's going to start snowing.
I didn't even know what that means. It's just funny.
I could listen to Terry Bradshaw say non sequiturs all freaking day.
Especially about Aaron Rodgers.
Nonsense. Holy smokes.
Hey, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, Prescott, Wisconsin, good morning. Glad to have you with us over. Our friends over in Prescott.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're enjoying your Thursday morning, and it's going to be a beautiful day for you right now. We've got great news. The perfect vacation lasts 11 days.
Oh, damn.
No.
11.
I don't know the last time I took an 11-day vacation.
Are we supposed to speak with French accents now? Holy smokes.
I have no interest in 11 days unless I'm, abroad.
Okay.
Overseas.
That checks out.
But if it's like internet or if it's national, like within the country, like I don't want to be gone that long.
Well, how about this? It's 11 days, and it costs the average, the perfect vacation is going to run about $8,800 per person.
That's nuts.
Wow.
So family of 4, that's 33, 34 grand. Congratulations. Also, here's
That's
the kicker,
nuts.
but here's the ultimate kicker. It's 3 hours from home. I don't know where.
Ooh, I don't know that I could blow through $8,800.
It's kind of funny. Rosemary and I, just last month, we went to Lutzen, about 3 hours from here.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was only a weekend, and we spent about $88 each, probably, for the weekend.
Maybe,
But that was 3 hours. If I'd known that was the perfect vacation, I guarantee you I would have enjoyed it more.
Would you have stretched it out to 11 days?
I couldn't have lasted 4.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And 8,800. This sounds to me like an algorithm perfect vacation, where some algorithm came up with, here's your perfect vacation, because it doesn't make sense. You can't. I don't know that you could go to Lutzen and spend $800 a day.
$800 a day for 11 days. That's $800 a day per head on this vacation. Now, if it's 3 hours away, you can't. There's no reason to factor in a flight. Why would you fly? Why would you fly somewhere you can be in 3 hours in your own car?
What if you could take a helicopter?
That's different.
No,
that's gonna run
no
up.
helicopter.
That's going to run up the tab, and it's fun.
It runs up the tab. That's a very good point. That could be a part of it. But I'm saying why go through the point? If I look at drives, like if it's 6 hours or less, I'll drive, not fly. because the hassle of TSA, waiting, possible delays, losing luggage. I'm like, screw it. How about I just operate my own vehicle and get there in 6 hours?
That's a very Midwestern mentality.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
If you're in New York somewhere and it's like a 6-hour drive, you're definitely flying, right?
Well, that's a different story. That's because a 6-hour drive from New York is 110 miles.
I was going to say 30 miles.
It's just too frustrating. It's just how that works. Not me. Most people say they're looking for somewhere with a beach. So again, Lutzen, I guess you could call that a beach.
Yeah, sure.
I
a little chilly. Water's a little chilly.
Yeah, I was looking at Alexandria. It's only 2 hours away, so I got to think a little bit further.
Yeah, expand your horizons.
It can be within 3 hours. It doesn't have to be exactly 3 hours. That's the part I like about this. I like the idea of being that close to home, but there's no way I'm going to $8,800 over the course of the trip, and there's no way it's going to be 11 days. Give me like 4 days where I can get out, peaceful, get away from everything, but then be, boom, home like that. I love that concept.
Instead of 3 hours away, how about just 3 hours? How about 3 hours on a boat singing karaoke? We're going to be having a good time.
Yep.
I'm going to have a good time.
I'm not.
Fletcher's going to have... Yes,
Nope.
you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
Of course I am.
I'm bringing chunky bars. We're all going to love it.
Fun.
Ryder's going to have fun.
Oh, I always have a blast on these things.
Yeah.
Corman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Corman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Bobby D right there. Bob Dylan had a birthday last week.
Roberto.
Yeah, Roberto himself. He is now 84 years old, born in 1941.
Still crushing it.
And by the way, on the road, I saw pictures of him playing the Gorge out in Washington State the other night. Just getting it.
Dude,
saw him last summer at Somerset. It was one of my best Dylan shows I've ever seen.
Wow.
Absolutely engaged, full on, killing it.
Nice. The Gorge, by the way.
Go, Bobby.
Absolutely outstanding.
Pretty spectacular place. Way outdoes Red Rocks, in my opinion.
Same.
Really?
Everyone talks Red Rocks,
Yep.
but once you see the Gorge, you're like, nah. Red Rocks is okay.
Are you getting the altitude sickness at the Gorge?
No.
Is it that high up, or is it nice and
Nice and cool, baby.
saturated with oxygen?
It's got a lot of O2.
It's so crazy that you said that, because as a music fan, I always targeted, I got to get to Red Rocks. And then I went to the Gorge kind of by accident and went, I don't really know if I ever have to get to Red Rocks.
No, you got to go. It's worth going to see.
No, for sure.
Seeing a gig at Red Rocks, I'm sure it's great. Playing there sucks. Let me just say,
Really?
as a guy who's played there a bunch, because unless you're fully acclimated, give me a week in Denver, I'll do it. But you come in the day before, get on stage, and I'm like, where's the oxygen tank? Let's go.
Does it just suck because you're a drummer and you need to do all that cardio, or does it suck for everybody?
No, it sucks for me because I'm a drummer. I don't like dry shows. I want humid always. I like to sweat when I play. Just gets everything going. So lack of breathing and no sweat. Even if it's hot, it's dry up there.
Yep.
So Telluride 10 times worse, because that's like that's way even higher. Those mountain towns. Everyone's like, let's go play those mountain gigs. Like, they're awesome. Have fun. See you later.
As long as you. Well, you know what?
Or just give me a week. Let me hang out for a week, and then it's fine. But you rarely get that chance.
When we talked riders, though, get that on your rider. The oxygen tank.
I'm feeling Minnesota, Paul Fletcher. Give me some headlines.
Minnesota's budget negotiations may be close to the finish line, but thousands of state employees will probably be getting layoff notices next week. The state would shut down on July 1st without a deal, and those notices have to go out a month in advance. Okay. Governor Walz does say he's not happy that it seemed, but my goodness, let me start over. Governor Walz says he's not happy that it seems inevitable the notices will go out, but he's confident the layoffs won't come to pass. He expects a budget possibly as soon as, it says Wednesday night. I'm assuming that means next Wednesday.
I would imagine so.
Because we're already on Thursday now. So, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy admits that the allocation for the FAA in the House-approved spending package, quote, won't be enough to support needed upgrades to the air traffic operations, which I think are fairly important.
Really?
Duffy has repeatedly stressed that low staffing numbers and outdated technology are at the root of various incidents that require significant funding. Duffy's overhaul is expected to include brand new telecom, radar, and radio equipment, as well as updates to front and back ends of the air traffic control system. Again, seems pretty, and he's getting decent advertising from all the incidents that have been going on.
How does a guy who got to start on MTV's The Real World not know how to fix all this overnight?
Don't knock The Real World, man.
It's the best thing he ever did.
It changed TV.
Hey, it did.
My God, that was good. Kings of Leon has been forced to cancel a run of summer European tour dates.
Uh-oh, did someone have a pigeon crap in their mouth? That's all I think about when you say Kings of Leon.
Right?
Poor kid.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, normally I wouldn't care about a summer tour being canceled, but Caleb Followell, welcome to being a dad. He suffered a freak accident while playing with his children. Quote, broke my foot pretty bad just playing with my kids. It's pretty gnarly. I'll spare all the details, but we're fortunate enough to have some great doctors here in Nashville. Gave me emergency surgery. I can speak to this from experience. My wife works retail, and she absolutely destroyed her ankle. Inside, outside, up, down, bottom, ligaments, cartilage, everything off an 18-inch ladder. These freak accidents, it's nuts, man.
That's how that works.
Kind of feeling for Caleb in that situation. Some number crunchers at bookies.com analyzed online user comments from the message boards of all 32 NFL teams to figure out which fan bases have the most profane fans. Topping the list?
Oh, in a runaway, it's got to be the Jets.
No, not Detroit?
Nope.
Oh.
Gotta be the Jets, Jets.
It is the Jets, Jets. If you'd asked me,
Really?
I'd have guessed.
Oh,
Yeah.
Go to a Jets game. I've been to one sporting event in my life where I truly was afraid, and it was a Monday night Jets game.
Wow.
Those people are animals.
Damn.
I said it live on the air. Animals. Jets fans are the worst.
Minnesota Vikings fans would say that about everything you just said about the Philadelphia Eagles. They're number 2. And that's who I would have guessed for number 1. The Buffalo Bills at 3, New England Patriots at 4, Chicago Bears at 5. Here's the one that really gets me. There's a tie for the least foul mouth, and I call BS on both.
Okay.
Green Bay Packers and Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, the Packers can't speak. They're too drunk. They're fans. And the Chiefs are winning, so why would they cuss?
Okay.
That's how that works.
That's a fair
I
argument.
thought there would be some good teams on the most profane ones because, bleep, we're going to bleep and win, blah, blah, blah.
Nah, Chiefs fans, it's that Midwestern thing. When they're winning, they're just like, we'll just be humble and quiet in victory.
Keep in mind, this is online user comments. So
Wasn't that a Dead Kennedy song, Too Drunk to Cuss?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yep, it was.
Yep.
online user comments, that does make a lot more sense because Packer fans probably don't have the internet.
See? That's how that works.
Hey, Vikings came in at 16th, by the way.
Right there in the middle.
Oh,
Right there in the middle.
Right
Yep.
there in the middle,
It just
baby.
depends on how they're doing, winning or losing, right?
A British woman has been auditioning for the Nat Geo show Locked Up Abroad, apparently. Remember that show, Locked Up Abroad?
Wow, yeah.
Did you ever get into that down the rabbit hole?
I did.
Yeah.
Every story's the same. They were asked to smuggle drugs back out of Peru. I just thought, what's the problem? I'll just do this one time. I'll get back, pay off my student loans, and go open up a chip shop. And it always goes horribly wrong. A British woman, a former flight attendant who's 21 years old. Got an early start.
Well, I mean,
How are you already a former anything at
if you're
21?
doing the
Right.
smuggling, don't you get to retire early?
I guess so.
That's
A
fair.
former
Good
flight
assessment.
attendant, her name is Charlotte May Lee, was arrested in Sri Lanka's capital city of Colombo at the airport. Customs officials say they discovered a drug known as Kush in her 2 suitcases. Now, Kush is a deadly drug commonly produced in West Africa, and apparently one of the ingredients in this drug is ground up human bones.
Oh, my.
Really?
I'll say that again. Human bones.
Come on.
A feature of this drug. Now, she's saying, look, I didn't have anything to do with this. I must have been planted in my bags while I was at this hotel back in Thailand.
on.
But here's the problem. 2 suitcases. It wasn't 100 ounces of Kush. It was 100 pounds of Kush. So that means
That's like a whole 4th grader.
that's your entire weight allowance, 50 pounds per suitcase.
Yeah.
What happened? Like, someone planted it in there, didn't they? Did you not notice there was 50 extra pounds in each suitcase? I thought I was just hungover, isn't it? I mean, what on earth? I know what my suitcases weigh to the pound. I'm very good at traveling, and I know how to get 49 pounds into a suitcase.
Got some experience.
If somebody puts an extra 5 pounds in my bag, I'm going to be like, "What? This does not feel the same."
Right.
Okay.
50 pounds in each bag?
She should have made up a better excuse than that. Like, that's not the best defense right there.
She says that she had arrived in on a flight from Bangkok. So it was upon arrival that this was discovered in Sri Lanka. So she wasn't trying to leave with it. She was coming in from Thailand.
So
She says it must have happened while I was at this hotel, and I think I know who planted it, although she's not named a name yet. So that means, but you still then went from your hotel to the airport, walked into the airport, handed those suitcases over to someone and said, "I'm going to Sri Lanka now, no problems. I'm a law-abiding citizen, isn't it?" No, you're not. 100 pounds of drugs.
I mean, it had to be extra bags. And
Trying to take drugs into Sri Lanka? I've never been. I couldn't find it on a map. I don't know anything about Sri Lanka except this. I'm not taking drugs there.
No, you want to buy your drugs once you get to Sri Lanka.
Their drugs are everywhere.
Yes.
Get them. If they're just for your personal use, trust me, they'll find you. Walk around the airport. There's a certain look you can get on your face all around the world, and it's international language for, do you know where I can get drugs? Trust me, it works.
I just love that Ryder gave us that advice. Like, just buy the drugs when you get there.
That's the oldest, of course.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's a common travel tip.
Traveling in a rock band for years. I've had a dog sniff my suitcase more times than I could count at International Customs, or at baggage claim and customs.
Suitcase?
Because the whole band. Like we've walked into the terminal, walk into the luggage, and all of our touring party's luggage is already off the belt with dogs sniffing it.
Yeah.
Like they know, like this, these 18, 20 people, it's band and crew all on the same flight. Mm-hmm. They all checked in together, so they're all going to get dogs sniffed at the other side. And it happens regularly. And the thing that we would always say, any drugs in your luggage? No, they're here waiting for us.
Yes. They're at the hotel.
You work at the airport. You think you can arrest me for having drugs over there across town? I don't think so.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't even do drugs, but I always said that.
I'm still just trying to figure out the street value of my bones right now.
If I were you, I'd stay away from Sierra Leone because this is a West African delicacy. Let me tell you something, man.
Stay out of the whole area, man.
When you go low, we're going to get high. See what I'm saying there? What? Seriously, by the time somebody... Imagine explaining that. I've got this new thing, man. It's really going to make you feel good. Yeah, what is it? Well, I just mixed a couple of compounds and some human bones. And I think it's really going to be... That's a tough sell. It's a tough initial sell, all I'm saying. Credit the storytellers for making that thing stick.
Yeah, I'm out on human bones. Just anything with human bones, I'm out.
Thank you very much. Very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.
Garmin in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Button.
Yeah, not the best button pusher today.
Ooh, that's okay. That's all right. Listen, it's just every day is a chance to be better than yesterday. And today failed.
You know what?
But tomorrow's going to be better than today, see?
And you're really great at other things. You know what I mean? Button pushing isn't your thing. It's
Pushing
okay.
the metaphorical buttons.
That's right. No, there's that.
It's time to play Rank You Very Much, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to give our top 3 something or others. And we invite you to play along. 651-989-ROCK is the
100%.
KQ Talk and text line. Text in your top 3, and we'll see if we get anybody to, if we're all lined up, if you will, if we're all in accordance. Today's theme, top 3 lamest superhero names. Now this
nonsense.
this does not imply that we are this is not an indictment of the superheroes themselves necessarily. I don't want you to go, yeah, but he can do. I don't care what they can do. The name
is terrible.
Implies X, Y, or Z. I'm just going based on names. And now granted, I'm no superhero expert. This is not my field of expertise on any level.
Okay.
But that said, we'll just dive right in. And Ryder, I would love for you to go first. Your number 3 ranked lame superhero name.
Yeah, I'm like all in on Deadpool, but that's about as deep as I go on the superhero. So I did do a lot of research on this one. So number 3, Absorbing Man. This is from like the Marvel like Shield whatever. It's real.
Really?
Yes.
Absorbing.
It's Absorbing Man. Guess what he does?
He's the bounty lumberjack is what I'm picturing.
Yes. He absorbs things.
Oh, for
What kinds
so
of
he's
things?
the blob in superhero form.
No, I think he was like the backstory that I spent way too much time on is he's some kind of like ex-boxer, and then they got real scared he'd be a threat, so they made him a superhero who can like absorb any skill.
Oh,
so
for God's sakes.
he isn't even as cool as like the bounty guy. He just he's like Neo in The Matrix, except doesn't have the awesome glasses.
Boy, so
Absorbing Man, and that's only number 3.
now I haven't missed the movie yet, right? They haven't given him his own. They haven't given him his own corner
Not
of the
his
room.
own. He might be in one of those Marvel
for
movies
God's
that I don't
sakes.
know about.
All right,
No,
that's
not that
kind of
I've
hard
seen.
to top.
I've watched all the Marvels. There's no
You
Absorbing
haven't
Man.
seen him yet?
Nope.
All right.
No.
Well, hope springs eternal for the Absorbing Man. Fletcher, who's your number 3?
My number 3 is Arm Fall Off Boy.
Is that a real guy?
Arm Fall Off Boy hails from the world of DC Comics, actually. He's got peculiar ability, just like it sounds. He can remove his limbs and beat you with them.
Well, now
his real name is Floyd Belkin.
Well, sure it is. If my name were Floyd Belkin, I'd prefer arm fall off guy too.
And he was first introduced to the world as a reject from the Legion of Superhero Tryouts. Like, it doesn't get any more pathetic. His portfolio is bad. His name is awful. Arm fall off boy.
So we got the basics, the old standbys. They came up with all the old, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, all the originals, and then they just gave a bag of mushrooms to some writers and said, "What do you got?"
My guess is that, you know what, I don't want to get too deep into this, but my guess is, like, back in the day when comics were king, you probably had comics coming out constantly and you had to have repeated bad guys. And so they come up with just nonsense like Arm Fall Off Boy.
I guess so. Again, not knowing, not really concerning. What were you going to say?
This is from the days when they put Coke in the Coca-Cola.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Not gonna disparage the actual characters. I'm just going by names and flying blind here. But these are names that I'm aware of. I didn't do any research.
Okay.
I don't know anything about these people for the most part. Hawkeye. That's my number 3.
All right.
Hawkeye.
Fair
You're
enough.
a surgeon in a MASH unit? That's all I thought. Really? You can make gin in a bathtub and you like Groucho Marx and I'm supposed to be afraid of you? How does this help? How does you knowing the difference between a kidney and a spleen get me out of whatever jam these bad guys have me into?
Well, and what he could do, I mean, he basically was an archer.
Okay,
And
that's what I
it's
thought.
like, it's like, okay, so you got like a bunch of really cool arrows, but it's like I'll take my superhero strength over your arrows any day. So yeah, not a bad call. That's a good one.
Not a fan.
Solid.
Number 2, Ryder.
Okay. Again, with the research, this is a real one, and it is part of the Marvel universe, but I don't think it's made it into a movie. Doorman.
What?
Doorman.
Doorman.
I've never even heard of Doorman.
And it's not like a Bond villain like Odd Job or whatever, where it's like a cool name, like, he's some kind of dude that like has all these secret. He becomes a door, a portal to a different world.
Well, I mean, that's a
Doorman.
pretty solid power if you can, turn yourself into a door and take the enemy, come running at you, turn into a door, and next thing you know, they're in 1940s India.
I guess, but then come up with something cooler than Doorman.
Yeah, for sure.
I was a doorman in the late 80s, and my super strength was I confiscated every dude's ID and said, "This is a fake. You're not getting in." And I let every woman in without even asking to see her ID.
Did you have a name tag that said Doorman?
No, but I did have a black leather trench coat that looked badass.
See, and he isn't even doing the trench coat. He's like all in black. It looked like just a bodysuit.
Got no time for this. What's your number 2, Fletcher?
Doorman is fine, but number 2 is the Wizard.
The Wizard?
The Wizard.
Not with a D on the, not the Wizard.
From the Marvel Universe, been around 64 years, the Wizard. Here's what really got me. He gained super speed, that's because he's a wizard, from the transfusion of mongoose blood.
Now, hang on. I'm a fan of the mongoose.
Not radioactive mongoose blood or something.
All right.
Just from mongoose blood. Well, there's probably a reason that the Wizard hasn't really transformed into a mammoth Marvel character.
Is he in India, and does he have the ability to outfox a king cobra with that mongoose blood? If so, that's my kind of guy.
All I can think of is don't whizzer on the electric fence.
That's right.
Yeah, I agree. Wizard's pretty terrible. It was a runner-up for me. I saw that one doing my research. Yeah.
The Wizard, yeah.
All right.
I mean, he's actually donned some, we won't get too deep into it, he's donned some pretty great kids in the Marvel Universe, apparently. The Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, who are badass, but the Wizard is awful.
What is he, a thoroughbred? I don't need his sire sheet.
He's got little wings on his... Well, you know what, though? If you can't be a good superhero, at least create some superhero kids. He's got little wings on his head. It's awful.
Number 2 for me, Green Lantern.
Oh, I thought about Green Lantern, too. Like,
What? If I'm walking through the woods at night, I need a lantern, and it's green, so I don't wake up the woodland creatures trying to catch up on their Z's. What the hell's a Green Lantern have to do with anything? And, I'm asking that, and I don't want to know the answer. I'm happy to know nothing about these ridiculous superheroes. 651-989-ROCK with the talk and text line. Our buddy Hummus Bob sent in his list. Bird Brain, Marvel, number 3. Big Bertha, Marvel, number 2.
That's
and his
good.
number 1, NFL Super Pro. Also a Marvel character.
That was a Marvel character?
NFL Super Pro.
That's a superhero.
Oh my God, look at that. It apparently was like a collaboration between the NFL and Marvel back in the day trying to make a superhero. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's awful. Good call, though, by Hummus Bob there. That's good.
That is pretty good. So, all right, it's time for our number ones. Let's go around the horn. We've got our number one lamest superhero names, Ryder.
Okay, and this one's already come up, and Fletcher had it, and I cannot believe you didn't make it your number one because it is so friggin' dumb. Arm fall off boy.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, he takes off his arms and hits people.
It'd be kind of cool to be able to do that, though. I'd love to be able to remove one of my arms and beat somebody with it. That'd be cool.
If this was from the era where there was Coke in the cocaine and Pep in the Pepsi, you should have come up with something a little bit juicier, I think.
I could indulge the sounds of Fallout Boy if they had chosen Arm Fall Off Boy instead. I would put up with that music a little more.
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah. It's a good band name. All right, Arm Fall Off Boy, pretty strong. Got to give it to you.
Yeah, I'll tell. Obviously, I can't disagree. I had it in my top three. I tell you why I couldn't go with Arm Fall Off Boy for my number one.
Okay.
Because number one is Elongated Man.
Oh, really?
That's why.
Is that Elon Musk behind a gate he can't get out of?
Yeah.
No?
That'd be funny, though.
That was a close call on my list, too.
Elongated man.
You can guess what his superpower is he can stretch. So he can apparently do a 200-yard handshake.
But isn't there already a guy isn't there a guy that stretches in the Fantastic Four?
Yeah, I thought.
What's his name?
Is there?
Isn't there a guy who's like can shake your hand across the room and stuff?
Well, this is DC.
I don't know, Rubber Man or something.
And Fantastic Four is Marvel, so maybe it's their own things. But
whatever.
You know what? Fun fact, by the way, that I learned while researching Elongated Man. Once voiced for a CW live action series. Once voiced by Jeremy Piven.
Wow.
All right, then.
Fair enough. All right, my number one.
Let's hear it.
Aquaman.
You don't like Aquaman?
Look, I'd love to be able to hold my breath underwater and all this, but are you afraid of Aquaman? He got a super soaker and he knows how to use it? What? Seriously, when I hear Aquaman, you know what I think of? Aquavelva. And so I just imagine he smells good.
It's a very menacing
that's where I go.
shade of a teal.
Aquaman has this classic masculine fresh scent. It's, I don't know, I'd describe it as clean, slightly sweet, with a musky barbershop scent. Invigorating, methylated undertones. It can be described as having hints of vanilla, lavender, and oak moss. That's what I think when I hear Aquaman.
I'm ready
as long as the bad guys don't go near water, he's useless.
I'm ready for Aquaman to come save my day, dude.
Yeah, but
anytime.
How much of the earth is made of ocean? You need a guy to protect the waters.
What crimes are happening under sea?
I mean, use your imagination. What isn't happening under sea?
Aquaman. Just go for a dip.
They
Whatever.
could have called him Water Boy, so I feel like Aquaman is pretty good.
And Jason Momoa is kind of badass.
I'm as impressed with Michael Phelps as the next guy, but not next to Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whatever, you're a swimmer.
It's funny. That's you know what?
Please. It's only so cool.
I got to say this, Ryder, it's a nonsense category, but what he's saying right now makes a lot of sense.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. And now with Greg Coleman, who joins us in studio. Greg is at Acme this weekend. You good? You hear me?
Yeah.
All sounding good. All right. Greg, it's good to see you again, man.
It's good to see you. It's good to be back.
I'm happy to see you still rocking the Wolves cap this morning.
I'm still rocking it. I mean, I know that they disappointed us last night, but the businessman in me is like, yes, less competition, Friday sales.
No game 6.
Yeah, no game 6.
No game 6. Go to Acme. Lick your Wolves' wounds with Greg Coleman.
Yep, I'm going to show up. I'm going to put up more than 9 points. More than 9 jokes in the first half.
I like that.
I defy anybody to try to get the ball out of your hands up there on Friday night.
Yeah,
ain't gonna be no steals happening.
Not at all. Not even Thursday. They tried a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
You saw at halftime a couple more people dribbled in from the street. They're like, well, that game's over. What do you got going on?
All right. Nice.
I'm like, come on in.
Come on in. Man, how many nights of your life have you spent at the Acme Comedy Club?
It's quite a few.
Yeah.
I would say post 2013, I'd say a good 35% of nights, 40 nights. Yeah.
If you got to be somewhere, that's a good place to be.
It's not a bad place to be.
No.
It's a good, like, it is, like, also, like, just a great club that people come into. But as far as comics, it's kind of like our social club.
Yeah,
like,
right.
You know, like, I'm too old to go out and go to the club, but If I need to see some faces besides the ones in my house, like,
Yep.
I'm going to the club.
Yeah.
It's like shabooms.
Yeah.
You
Is
feel
that
bad?
Old Kenny Powers. I'm going to Shabooms. I'm going to Acme. That's
the way he says it, though. I'm going to Shaboom.
That's how I tell my wife. I'm going to Acme. And then,
And you leave, and you're like, yeah, this is what I need. And she very quietly lets you leave, and then she says, man, that's what I needed.
yep. Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
Works for everybody.
Pretty much.
How is the family?
Family's good. Family's growing. Got a 3-year-old. Got a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
who's
Holy
the
I
size
remember.
of a 3-year-old.
You were in the tunnel last time we talked.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm still there. Yep.
Still there.
I'm jealous of that. Mine are 12 and 8.
Oh, yeah.
So, I loved 3.
Yeah.
3 was just like 2 to 5, honestly, are phenomenal. I mean, 1 is like tiny is great too, but I mean 2 to 5 is when the lights start coming on, stuff starts happening. They're turning into little people, little creatures. You know what I mean? That's the best.
It feels like over the last month, my son's turned into a kind of baby human. Because he's 1. Like I took him to a nursery at church, and this lady, she was like, "How old's your kid?" I was like, "Oh, he's like 1." Like, granted, he's like 18 months. She's like, "Oh." I feel like he identifies as a 3-year-old. Like, he's big.
Yeah.
Like the 1-year-old?
Yeah, the 1-year-old,
Yeah.
he's big. Like, he can understand everything. He just doesn't really talk. But I think he's just playing us. Because, like, I'll be like, Amir. And he's just like, like, ignoring me until he wants some snacks.
I have a nephew who's 6'10", and he was on a 7-foot pace his whole life, and then around 6th grade or around 9th grade he just stopped.
Yeah.
Every doctor said he's gonna be 7 feet tall, and his uncles were all like, "All right, we're all going to the league."
Yeah.
Didn't quite happen, but he was a good ball player. But when he was young, when he was 3, he looked 6 or 7.
Yeah.
When he was 5, he looked 10 because he was so big, and so all he did was let people down. They thought they were talking to a 10-year-old, and it was a 5-year-old going, "Huh? What's going on?" It's everywhere he went, people thought that's the dumbest kid I've ever seen in my life.
I bet that kid wasn't able to get the free breakfast at Perkins. They're like, no way, he's 4.
His mom had a copy of his birth certificate in her purse his whole life.
Like he was a Dominican pitcher.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly right.
Little league pitcher.
You got any athletes? Your kid's athletic?
Yeah. Fortunately, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's like, fortunately, I want him to play and stuff, but like selfishly, I don't want to do the AAU life.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to go to Texas for 8-year-olds playing basketball.
It's a racket, boy.
It's tough.
Yeah, my son got into AAU basketball, and after a couple years, I was like, okay, first of all, you're not getting any better.
Yeah.
And secondly, no one's telling you how to play defense. I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, it's really weird because like most of my friends, their kids are older, so they've all traveled internationally, nationally, and I'm like, man, this is what I got to look forward to. And the thing is, my son, he's been like picking up, I don't know who taught him this, but someone taught him a hockey swing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's got it's vicious. I'm like, man, this
which
dude's
one is
gonna
this?
do
How
some
old
knuckle
is this?
puck. This is the 1-year-old.
This is the 1.5, 18-month-old.
He's firing slap shots already?
Yeah, firing slap shots.
Let's
and
go.
I'm like, expensive as hockey is, I keep knocking him down every single time he swings. I'm like, maybe turn it to a golf swing because at least with golf, I can like go to that practice. I'll be like, all right, I'll be at the range.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, this is the both of us. Give me some tips. But hockey, I'm like, nah, that's too expensive. That's too, I don't know, man.
I don't know. Golf clubs are not exactly cheap either.
Golf clubs aren't cheap, but have you seen the contracts?
Yeah,
You've seen the contracts. Like, hockey contracts are cool, but if I have to choose,
yeah, that's fair.
Sure.
if I have to choose,
Yeah. You're talking about single millions versus tens of millions. I understand.
Yeah.
I've got an 8-year-old that just completed her first year of hockey.
Yeah.
I grew up around the game. It's the only thing that's been in my life longer than music.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, the dad in me is like, oh, come on, let's be that lottery
hockey
ticket.
kid.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And then the other side of me is like, no, I don't need to spend all that money. Like, I'm fine with hand-me-down equipment. We don't need the best of everything. Like, so we'll see what happens. It's only been 1 year.
It's the girl. She's athletic, but she's also got a big personality. And every once in a while, I'll catch her doing like fake comedy sets. Like she's got her little.
It's always the question.
Yep, she's always got it, and she did like 3 minutes. So I'm like,
3 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it was a little hack, but you know what I mean. The fact that she got up there.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's see. I might have a free opener coming up soon.
Damn, no question. Greg Coleman's at Acme tonight and Friday and Saturday. Tickets available. You can go to Acme Comedy, the website right there. What did you play growing up?
I was basketball, baseball, football, and track.
That's a lot.
Holy cow!
Yeah, that was a lot.
Into high school, all through high school.
Through high school, I did football and track all the way through.
Right on.
And then stopped basketball in 10th or 11th grade. I think the knees were starting to like.
What'd you do? What'd you play football? What position?
I was defensive end in high school and then college. Played outside linebacker.
Right on. I forgot. We talked about that. Where'd you play college ball?
Edward Waters College down in Jacksonville. HBC.
Man,
wow, that's cool.
That's a lot of time spent on the gridiron.
It was a lot, and I do remember in high school, like I was watching film, and I was like, oh man, I'm not going to the league.
Yeah,
like I know this.
Self-awareness is great, isn't it?
So at least I'm going to have fun.
Yeah.
Like, so I picked the place that furthest away.
Sure.
Like, I was like, we live in Minnesota. Yeah, let me go to Florida. Like, that's not a big pipeline. It's normally
the other
Florida to Minnesota.
Yeah, to everywhere else.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm coming down here to save you Florida boys.
Yeah.
Nah, hey, the knees still work fine, though. You're walking around without a limp.
A little bit, but
lucky.
see, I feel a knee replacement in my future.
Do you? All right.
You'll get there. You're still, You're probably still relatively young. You'll get there.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Like, I feel it when the rain comes.
I just click 50, and if I'm sitting down long enough, stairs are not my friend. I mean, it's fine by the time I get to the top.
Yeah.
The first few are there, man. You feel them for sure.
It's a weird thing. Midnight snacks going downstairs. I'm like, ooh, I don't want this to be the one that takes me out.
maybe that midnight snack isn't that important.
Yeah, I just got to put a fridge upstairs.
You're a creative guy. You'll come up with a better real story. You know, we don't have to know that you were going for that ho-ho. It's like, something else.
Put a fireman's pole in.
I could.
We were talking earlier in the show. We have a thing we do here, Rank You Very Much, and we provided each other with our top 3 lamest superhero names, and we got into a superhero conversation. We just played a clip of yours talking about Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
An old Wolverine clip. Are you into the superhero world, or is that just a limited thing?
Man, no, of course. Comics, it's, I'm still hanging on to MCU life, and like I'm liking what James Gunn's gonna do with DCU.
All right,
I'm like, you know what? Like, let's get it back. Let's see what happens.
I am so grateful for you right now because when it comes to superheroes with these two, I'm on a freaking island. Ryder not as much, but he could care less. So
I got no time for it.
Yeah,
never. It just bounces off.
Yeah, I get it. There's some things that you catch, some things you don't.
Sure.
It's like I caught superheroes. I didn't catch Breaking Bad.
Okay. All right.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm holding on to.
To hit both. Yeah.
I watched it later. I watched it 10 years later.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch the finale.
There you go.
That's how much I was
Don't
like,
let go.
You know what? I'm okay.
See, I've never watched.
You didn't need it?
I didn't need it.
Wow. I've never watched an episode of Friends. Won't do it.
Yeah, like not on purpose. I didn't watch it on purpose.
Yeah, at a certain point, you just gotta hold your guard.
Yeah.
You know?
That is an island I'll stay with you on.
Yeah.
I've never watched Friends.
Any superhero that you've ever heard of who moonlighted as a comic, maybe there's a new character you could invent for yourself.
Hacky Man.
Is there one? Okay.
The Run the Light Man.
Yeah.
He's like, you got 2 minutes to get this done. I'm going to take 4.
Okay.
Like we blink the light. Yeah, I don't know. That could be
something.
Yeah.
So would Hacky Man, would he have just like a barrage, like an arsenal of awesome hacky sacks that would do damage? Or
he just have the hackiest, like his weapon, his choice, his belt
or
would be
comedy.
Like, just bored. Like, where are you from?
Like
airport jokes.
Catskills.
He just
borscht belt stuff.
Yeah, he bored people with like airplane jokes and travel jokes and I got a chicken. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Like,
that'll work.
Yeah, like, I'm about to destroy the world, and then he pulls out a rubber chicken and starts asking, like, hey, where are you from? Get him caught up in some bad, hacky crowd work until the real superheroes show up.
We got a pitch already ready. We don't have a script, but we got a pitch.
Yeah, we definitely got a pitch. Someone could buy
elevator pitch, right? Yeah.
As long as we're still creating.
Yeah. I'm all about giving away ideas that will never get made. As long as I get paid,
again,
I'm fine
with the self-awareness. That's key.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's critical to your success.
It's huge.
So what were you doing in between? You're in Florida, you're playing football, and then now we see you and you're a headlining comedian. There was a period of time where you were teaching.
Yeah.
Correct?
There was,
Was this high school or middle school?
I was doing elementary. Actually, I was doing radio first.
Okay.
Yep, back in the old B96 days with Tony Fly.
All right.
Wow.
So I was doing his show, and so I figured, like, if I'm, doing rock star stuff during night times and mornings, and like, being this is back in those old radio war days, when radio was radio. No.
Oh, it's fun, man.
But I was like, all right, let me spend the daytime at least like being a positive influence,
Right.
As much as I can. So that was in between. Between football, so it was
what were you
radio and
teaching?
school and stuff. I wasn't teaching nothing. I was just giving kids high fives.
Oh, I got you.
In the hallway and being like, "Hey, get to class."
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Even in work, I was like, I want to walk around.
Yeah. I got you. Well, there's content everywhere you go. That's the good thing about being you. Whatever you do, there's a story to be told.
There's a story to be told if you look for it.
I think comedians, the way they see the world, would be great teachers.
Sometimes,
right? Maybe? No?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there is a big bulk of comics who have history in either like teaching or youth development and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of comics who used to be teachers.
Any music? Did you ever play an instrument or sing?
No. I wish I could. That's the one thing that I wish, like, because I grew up loving music. I had cousins who would make music. I'd tinker around.
Yeah.
And like with the beats or like arrangements and stuff like that. But like I never had the talent. Like if I could, I would be the Black John Mayer in a minute. Like give me a guitar and some hokey songs and put me on festivals. Yeah.
If you ask John Mayer, he'd say he is already the Black John Mayer.
Yeah, he is. And the comic too. He had a little comedy.
He's got good chops. He's got good timing. I mean, comedic chops. When a couple of bits on Chappelle, I've seen him in other things. He does all right.
Yeah, he's definitely got the heart of a comic. Yeah, for sure.
I think there's a lot of crossover. I think a lot of people who play an instrument. The innate rhythm of that, it translates also into what you do. It's your job. A big part, delivery is all rhythm. It's all pacing and
rhythm and pacing and bouncing. And sometimes like there's like albums or whatever. Like if I'm putting together like an hour, like I'll listen to an album and kind of be like, all right, what are the beats? Yeah, like this starts here. There's kind of like this is where the meat of it is. And so sometimes, you can just draw inspiration from different art forms for sure.
So what's your general process? I mean, is there a gauge or a calendar in your brain of I need another hour, so this is going to usually take me a year and a half, 8 months? Is there any consistency over the years now as you look back on how long it takes you before you feel? I'm sure you have a ton of material at all times, but before you're ready to say, okay, this is where it needs to be.
I'll say this, ever since having kids, it's been...
Everybody in every walk of life, but you probably more than anyone. I'm interested in this answer.
Yeah, it all kind of like blurs.
Yeah.
Because especially like if it's like, okay, I'm kind of talking about kids and those experiences and stuff right now. It's like the kids grow so much faster than the material. Because it's like, all right, I'll work on this bit and I finally got it where I want it. And it's like 6 months, and then it's like, damn, this isn't even that kid anymore. And now I have another kid, and like, where do I like? Sometimes I'll like tell jokes that like are a staple joke, and sometimes like it branches up back. Oh wait, no, that tag references one kid, or whatever. But I always try to keep the material going, especially with this one, especially like. At your home club, you always kind of want to present new. Right. And so with this one, I was like, man, I was just here in August. So I'd say it's kind of like, 50-50, 50-60. There's some, fun things that I'll just pull out where I'll be like, man, I was working on that joke for a couple weeks. But I'd say it's about a year to get a new hour rolling.
It is amazing how time, when you have kids in your house, the difference in how you see time based on them. Because, you are, like you say, you come around, you're like, oh, I finally got that tagline. And then your kid's like holding a razor going, you show me how to use this? You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Are you shaving already? I was just working on this joke. I mean, I look at my kids are in their 20s now, but those years, amazing how little you get done and how much you get done at the same time.
Yeah.
You learn, when you have friends who don't have kids and they say, like, I don't have time to get anything done, you just want to smack them. Like,
It's been like I've already been up since 5. Because I realized those dad hours.
Right.
Like you got to get things in before like they're up and rolling around.
Greg Coleman's at Acme tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday night. 2 shows each night. It is always a pleasure to see you in studio, man.
I appreciate it. I like being here. I see that you guys have done some fancy things.
It's all fancy now, man. We're making a lot of changes.
I like it.
But we're keeping the good and getting rid of the not so good. So you're always welcome.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Anytime,
you got that check in the mail I sent you beforehand.
You got that. Absolutely. I appreciate a man who still writes checks.
Couple more zeros next time, huh?
You're the guy I always get behind at the grocery store. If there's one person with a checkbook, I'll be in line behind them.
I do it just because I don't do anything until 8 o'clock. And I'm around my kids, I drop them off, and then I go grocery shopping, and I write checks just so I can have longer time to communicate with the Aldi's person. They're like, "What are you doing, dude? This is slowing up the whole process."
That's it.
You're like, I'm being social right now. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I'm trying to be. Yeah. It was messed up. I was trying to write a 25-cent check for the cart at Aldi because I didn't have a coin on me.
That's tough.
Yeah, that's sad. Right there when you're going to Aldi and don't have a quarter.
And then, of course, but the problem is nobody has a quarter anymore either.
No one has a quarter.
I bought a bag of peanuts the other day. It was like 69 cents. The guy handed me 31 cents, and I put it all in the penny thing because I'm like, I'm not going to need this. Yeah. I don't need 31 cents. It's of no use to me.
Yeah.
I would have came back and took that quarter, though, behind you. I was like, I'm going to Aldi today.
Well, now I know. Go to Aldi and find someone who needs that quarter.
My wife drives around with a quarter in the cup holder just for Aldi.
Really?
Yep.
Well, didn't know.
My wife
you get it back, so it's just a reusable quarter.
Bang.
I always leave my cart for the next person. I was like, there's someone out there like me who forgot a quarter. You don't want to be patting your pockets outside of Aldi. That's not a good look. So I just leave it right there. That's my good. That's how I get back to the community.
That's beautiful, man. Let's all follow that example right there.
He's a charity man.
He's not just talking it. He's walking it.
Yeah,
right. 1 quarter.
Greg Coleman
for y'all 1 quarter at a time.
That's right.
Go see Greg at Acme. We'll be back in a minute. We're feeling Minnesota. We got headlines.
Corman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Corman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Good Thursday morning. It is May the 29th. It is 9 o'clock or so, and therefore, I don't mind telling you, I'm feeling Minnesota. Paul Fletcher, what's happening?
Oh, man. Minnesota's budget negotiations may be close to the finish line, but thousands of state employees will probably be getting layoff notices next week. The state would shut down July 1st without a deal, and those notices have to go out a month in advance. So, while Governor Walz says he's not happy that it seems inevitable the notices will go out, he's also confident the layoffs won't come to pass. He expects there will be a budget possibly as soon as Wednesday night.
Go get him.
Firing on
all
cylinders.
Go get that budget, everybody.
That's right.
Meet in the middle. Let's not let people lose their jobs.
That's 100%. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy admits that the allocation for the FAA in the House-approved spending package, quote, won't be enough to support needed upgrades to air traffic operations. Duffy has repeatedly stressed that low staffing numbers and outdated technology are at the root of various incidents that require significant funding. Duffy's overall plan is expected to include brand new telecom, radar, and radio equipment, as well as updates to front and back ends of the air traffic control system.
Earlier, I mentioned that he was he came to us via the real world. I don't want to leave out. He also was on Road Rules All Stars. I don't want to take away anything from Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy.
He does have a history with transportation.
Apparently so.
Rolling around in that RV.
Exactly. I'm sorry if I slighted him earlier by not mentioning that.
And let's not forget, he was an all-star. Not just a road rule. He was an all-star.
That's right. That's right.
Kings of Leon have been forced to cancel a run of summer European tour dates after lead singer Caleb Followell suffered a freak accident while playing with his children. Welcome to your 40s and welcome to children. Said, quote, broke my foot pretty bad just playing with my kids. It's pretty gnarly. I'll spare you all the details, but we're fortunate enough to have some great doctors here in Nashville, and we're able to give him emergency surgery.
That's the state. Fortunate enough to have great doctors here? Well, of course. It's a major city. There's great doctors everywhere.
Right? That was great. I love that.
I don't know. Why spare the details? You spare the details when you were at a honky-tonk at 3 a.m. and fell down, not because you got messed up with your kids.
Right.
Or maybe
Just
that's
saying.
not what happened.
Allegedly.
Maybe that's not what happened. Or maybe it's not that gnarly and he's being a wuss.
Could be. Check those ticket sales. You never know.
That's right.
Yes.
That's a very good point. Some number crunchers at bookies.com analyzed online user comments from the message boards of all 32 NFL teams to figure out which fan bases had the most profane fans. Ryder, can you guess who's number one?
I think it sounds like this.
No. Oh, come on.
Because we're
Detroit.
so freaking excited about this season.
my God.
mean, if we weren't live on the radio right now, I'd be swearing up a storm.
Steve, what's your guess?
I don't have to guess. I know for a fact. They don't know how to spell most four-letter words, but they do know how to spell Jets.
That's right. New York Jets, number one. I think a lot of Vikings fans, including me, would have guessed the Philadelphia Eagles. They came in number two. Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots, and Chicago Bears round out the top five of the most profane fans in the NFL.
I've been to one home Jets game in my life. It was a Monday night game against the Jacksonville Jaguars sometime in the 90s, and I was afraid for my life in that stadium.
Really?
Jets fans are animals.
Holy moly.
No, I'm not kidding. It was a really odd... and here was the craziest thing. It was a giant stadium where the Giants and the Jets played.
Yep.
And at this point in time on a Monday night, they were not selling alcohol in the game. There was like no beer sales. That's how bad their fans are on a Monday night football game. So what did everyone do? They showed up hours early. They pregame. And as they left, there were not piles of bottles and cans in the parking lot. There were literal mountains.
Oh, geez.
Literal mountains. Every section of the parking lot had a center ginormous, 20, 30 feet tall by 80, 100 feet of just bottles and cans.
Yeah.
Piles, mountains. And everybody was drunker than anybody you've ever seen, is what it felt like.
Holy
and
moly.
the treatment of women, the screaming at those of us who weren't women but also had long hair, it was really intense. It was really, I kid you not, we left at halftime. I was like, this is the most, I've never been so afraid that someone's going to beat me up just for giving them a weird look in my life.
Wow.
I've been in a lot of places. That's what it was. I was out. Anyway, that's your most profane fan base, I would imagine, by a wide margin.
Yeah, probably. The Vikings fans came in at number 16, so we're right there, middle of the rack.
Damn straight, baby.
Yep.
Nothing to swear about, good or bad.
Nope, right there in the middle. I'll give you something to swear about. The T-Wolves are done.
Yep.
The T-Wolves were done on Sunday night, actually, or Monday night, I should say, when they came up short at home in Game 4. It was all over, but the counting, I guess, counted 3 minutes into the game, 2 minutes into the game last night in Game 5. They had a lead. They were up 3-0, and then they were up 3-2, and then they never led again. The difference at halftime was 33 points. That was the Thunder's largest halftime lead in franchise playoff history.
Oh, really?
This was an absolute pasting on every way, shape, or form, which I understand. The T-Wolves, once they recognized the game was out of hand, it's kind of hard to realize, okay, tomorrow I'm on vacation, so let me play my guts out for this game.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, but I was surprised that they didn't at least hit the ground with a little bit more intensity. However, ultimately, we lost to a team that is better and has been better all year and showed to be better in with the exception of Game 3. They beat us all 4 times, and it easily could have been a sweep. Blah, blah, blah. We've been talking about it all morning. The T-Wolves have some retooling to do. They need to make some changes. And I believe Tim Connolly will do just that, because since he got here, everything he's done so far seems to be adding into the right direction.
Do you think the Thunder roll whoever they play?
I think the Pacers will give them a really good, entertaining series. I think they will win, but Indiana's way better, although they're in the East, and so you have to question who they're playing. But Indiana is deep and runs and runs and runs. I think that'll be an incredibly entertaining series. And no one will watch, because across the country, when you lose the Knicks and the Lakers and the Warriors and the Celtics, and then you have the Thunder and the Pacers, the networks are like going, no, please, seriously, advertise with us, please.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Twins lost last night 5-0, only the 4th shutout of the season, so that's not so bad. The bats were working, but the gloves of the Rays were working better. Day off today. They are going to continue this 10-game road trip out west in Seattle. Last I checked, Seattle's not playing good baseball. We get back off the schneid hopefully tomorrow night. Terry Bradshaw, Steelers quarterback, legendary quarterback, was appearing on a sports talk station in Little Rock, Arkansas, The Buzz, and he was asked about, what about your team, Terry, the Steelers, and what about the fact that Aaron Rodgers may be playing there next year?
That's a joke. That is, this to me is a joke. What are you going to bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? That guy needs to stay in California and go, go somewhere and chew on bark and whisper to the gods out there. I had to go over and introduce myself to him. He's not. I had to go, hey, Aaron, I'm Terry Bradshaw. I know he knows me, but I just felt like I better tell him who I am. You know, you walk in there and you get in his presence and you feel like it's going to start snowing.
I still don't know what that means. I just think it's hilarious.
I got a call from Jim from Chaska, and he thought it maybe had something to do with a cold shoulder with Aaron Rodgers turning a cold shoulder to Terry Bradshaw. But I mean, how do you not just fangirl or fanboy over Terry Bradshaw? He's so lovable.
Agreed.
Add that to the long list of Aaron, what are you doing?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Come on, dude. Really? Really?
Yeah.
Hey, want to give a quick morning shout out to Lakeville, Minnesota. Some good people from Lakeville, or so I'm told.
Questionable character.
Yeah.
And then there's the rest of us.
And then there's the rest of it. Now, the burning question is it east or west?
What do you mean?
Lakeville.
East or
it's
west?
both.
East or west?
I mean, because it straddles 35W, so then it's a big place.
Okay, all right. I mean,
both.
but just, so is that it? Are you on the west side or east side? Where'd you grow up? Which side?
I was east of 35W, but west of Cedar. So I was like on the verge of Apple Valley, kind of. I would still say it's West Metro.
Okay.
People will fight me about it, though.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, they will.
I'm with you, though. I'll support you on this. Top 5 fastest growing city in Minnesota, by the way.
Lakeville?
Yep.
Oh, isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to get a little bit of that Ryder magic.
That's right.
It's Gorman in the Morning with Fletcher and Ryder, 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the Morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Tom Petty, American Girl.
Yeah.
I've said it many times. As good as any, if not the greatest ever music drop in a film.
Oh, really?
All time. Silence of the Lambs. The tension is already mounted. It's a grueling movie. You're getting sucked in, and then there's just this boom, a girl in a car listening to American Girl, and then she's singing along, like she's singing, and then she does the make it last all night, like she hits the backup vocal part.
Yeah.
I saw Silence of the Lambs the day it was released, Valentine's Day, 1991. On the road in Chicago.
Wait, they put that out on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, absolutely. And Rosemary was visiting. She was out on the road that week. And so we went to a theater in Chicago and saw it. And
romantic.
That scene, when it flipped to the girl in the car, it was the only moment of lightness at all, of light in that part of the movie specifically.
Yeah.
And the whole theater, you could feel it like, whew, everybody just had
release
this
of joy.
It was just, and she was funny and cute, and everybody's like, oh my God, I needed that. And then bang, she pulls into the parking lot and there's Buffalo Bill. And right away, and the dread just settled right back in. I viscerally remember everything about that movie the first time seeing it.
Hey, are you about a size 14?
That was about it.
And then it's
That was
over.
it.
Yep.
The final scene when Clarice goes down and then he puts on those night goggles and she's flying blind.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. At least a dozen people left the theater. People just got up and were walking out, and they were all like, I can't to themselves. I can't take. Okay, and it was so. I mean, and we were. That was it was crazy. What an innocent time when a movie could still scare you, but it was just. It was the.
It's the creepiest movie. One of the creepiest movies ever made. Period.
Her face when she can't see what's going on, and then he's looking at her. That really was like a. Again, you don't get these experiences in theaters that often anymore, where just no one would breathe, no one wanted to make a sound, and everybody's terrified. When the thing ended and the lights came up, everybody's just laughing because we're all still alive.
Sense of relief.
It was what a great memory of just that's how great movies used to be. My kids missed that whole idea of. Movies just don't do that anymore. They don't have those experiences very often.
I think if you have the right movie, you could do it. So does that make you want to listen to American Girl more or less since you exclusively associate it with that mood?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, anytime I put it this way, I've never heard that song since and not thought of Silence of the Lambs. For better or for worse. I doubt Tom Petty would like to know that.
I was just gonna say, music. A lot of times it transports me to movies. Like the two are like synonymous in my life.
Yeah.
But that's maybe the most visceral of them all. because it's, like you said, it's such a well-placed moment in a film. I don't know that it makes me want to listen to American Girl more or less.
Because
but when I hear it, that's exactly immediately where I go.
Reservoir Dogs, the scene with the Steelers wheel
Of course.
stuck in the middle with you, and somebody's getting his ear hacked off. That makes me want to listen to Steelers Wheel more.
It does it really?
Yeah, no, not so much.
All right, that makes sense. I can get it.
Yeah.
Hey, good news for all of our friends in Switzerland. Funny thing happened in the Swiss Alps Wednesday. After a few weeks of warnings, authorities over there were warning members of a little village called Blatten. They said, hey, that glacier that surrounds your village, we're worried about it. We think it might collapse and disintegrate. There's cracks in the ice that climbers have found, and we need you guys to leave. We need everybody to evacuate because we think that this glacier that you're founded right next to is probably going to disintegrate and collapse and fall down the hill. And luckily, all those people went, hey, that's a good idea. I think we'll get out of here.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, oh, you scientists that study this stuff for a living, you think we're in danger? All right, we'll all leave. And that's good because yesterday, a glacier collapsed. It did. A huge piece of what is known as the Birch Glacier broke off and completely buried this town.
Wow.
Under what they are saying is an unbelievable amount.
1.5 million cubic meters.
1.5 million cubic meters of debris crashed down the mountain. It triggered a 3.1 earthquake.
Holy cow.
And yes, it took this entire village down with it, basically.
Good Lord.
2 years ago, another village in the Swiss Alps was evacuated when the nearby mountainside began to crumble. When people with Swiss accents say that mountain looks like it's about to crumble, take them at their word. They know of what they speak. It's not just watches and chocolate. They know all about crumbling glaciers in Switzerland, too.
Apparently.
It's a pro tip. Listen to them. Trust them. They know of what they speak.
Gotcha.
Nobody marks a village for disaster quicker than a Swiss geologist. If I've learned one thing, it's that. Hey, tomorrow on this show, John Sumner, who's a documentary director, will be with us. He's got a new doc out about a legendary rock promoter named Ron Delsner. He's sort of the Bill Graham of the East Coast, a New York guy who brought the Beatles to Shea Stadium and is still working today.
Wow.
And Ron Delsner,
Really?
I know Ron Delsner. He is, in all the best ways, a complete freak. And I can't wait for the documentary, and we're going to talk to the director on the show tomorrow, as well as KQ Karaoke Cruise tickets. We'll be giving them away.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Fletcher, what's coming up next?
We're going to play songs again. It's the typical, the repeat and rinse and repeat, except the thing is, they're different songs, number one. Number two, they're the best songs.
That's a hell of a plan, dude.
And then I've got KQ Karaoke Cruise passes again.
Nice.
12:30. That's keyword.
That's both strategy and tactics.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm very impressed.
You can tell I have a bit of work to do still.
Oh, yeah. We'll see you tomorrow morning on Gorman in the Morning. This is Minnesota's 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the Morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the Morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.